Jay McCurry, who is superintendent of Liberty Christian School here in Anderson, Madison County, joins us in the studio today. You're probably a radio guy, are you not?
Well, I don't know about a radio guy. I listen to the radio a lot.
You do?
But not being on the radio.
Always listening to WHBU Radio. Did you know this is the second oldest radio station on the air in the state of Indiana? This is historic.
Hey, I'm coming up from Oklahoma. I'm learning all kinds of new things, so it's a treat.
Has anybody said welcome to Anderson, Indiana? Welcome to Madison County.
Yes, the hospitality and the generosity has been overwhelming. So we are excited to be here.
And it's true then about Hoosiers.
It is true. It is true.
Oh,
we have been extremely overwhelmed with folks just reaching out and making us feel right at home. So
well, good. Well, Tam, for people that don't know you and your background, how long have you been here at Liberty?
You bet. So my family and I moved up here in last summer, July of 16. So we are coming up on our 1-year anniversary here in Anderson.
Mm-hmm. And so what do you think so far?
We absolutely love it. We are right at home. We've purchased a house, and we are here for the long haul. So we are excited to be here, honored to be here. We have found all the great eating places to eat, and all the
Have you
great
found
places.
the Lemon Drop yet?
We have been to the Lemon Drop. We were there our first 2 weeks. So I think that we were being indoctrinated once we hit the Lemon Drops.
Another little hidden jewel is Tommy J's.
Tommy J's Pizza. So that's that had to be part of. We drive right past there on our way home every day, so we have to grab a pizza.
I think we're neighbors.
I think we are. Yes, we are.
I think we're neighbors. Welcome to the neighborhood.
Welcome to the neighborhood.
Yeah, I apologize if you're out strolling of an evening and my dog barks.
Well, that's all right. We'll let it ride.
It's a cheap burglar alarm. All you got to do is feed them. You don't have to. There's no monthly automatic deduction from your account, but you do have to remember to go to the grocery store to get his food. So you've been involved in education for how long?
My journey on education started, I am a product of Christian school education, so I take into the account my experience not only as an educator, but as a student of education. So I consider that as part of my training and my background. But officially, we're pushing nearly 20 years. Whether K through 12 or post-secondary, owned a corporate training business. So my focus for my career has always been in the area of education.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So how did you come to find about an opportunity in Anderson, Indiana with Liberty?
Great question. I'm 43 years old, and so I don't know if it happens.
I was going to notice that you don't have gray hair.
No, yet, so not much gray hair. So we'll keep that as long as we can. But my wife and I started at the beginning of last year, just really praying, and I'll be just transparent. I mean, just really seeking the heart of God on our next step. Are we where we are supposed to be at? And at that point, I was at doing corporate leadership and training at an organization there in Oklahoma.
Really?
And she said, I said, when do you feel like my gifts and my talents were really being used? And she said, that's a no-brainer. It's when you were administrator of a Christian school. And I had done that in the past, had kind of stepped away from it. And so I knew at that moment that everything was about to change. Mm-hmm. And so Liberty is accredited through an organization called ACSI, which is our accrediting agency. It's a national, very well-known organization. And so that was kind of my link with Liberty. Naturally, I started off on this search looking in Oklahoma and then kind of broadening my search into Kansas and Texas and finally led us here to Anderson. We had been to Anderson twice before and really enjoyed the town and our stay, and so it wasn't an unfamiliar move. We were we knew a lot about Anderson University. And
I was going to ask if AU's a tie-in. I have a son there.
It's a tie-in through Mid-America Christian University out of Oklahoma City. So they're kind of sister schools, and I had worked at Mid-America, and so part of that had led us to Anderson for a couple of quick trips. And so that opened that door. And so when the door opened up in Anderson, we're like, we've been there. It's a great town. And so that was our connection.
Because it would seem to me that developing a relationship between a very tight relationship between Liberty and Anderson University would be advantageous for both sides.
Oh, I mean, that was one of my first conversations when I came in, was to meet with President Pistol, and he was extremely gracious and visiting with me. But our budget is based on our enrollment, and I know that they, are as well, and so it is advantageous. He needs our students. AU needs our students, and they have opportunities for our students as well. They have facilities. They have classes. They have dual credit classes that we can partake of. So it is a natural partnership. I announced at graduation this last week that our graduating seniors received $1.6 million in college scholarships. $1.6 million in college scholarships. And we have 48 seniors. And nearly 500,000 of that came from Anderson University. So it is a tremendous, and President Pistol was our commencement speaker. So it's a fantastic partnership that we have with AU, and one that we will continue to cultivate as the years go on.
A relationship, because if your students that are from this area realize that there's a education opportunity for them to attend Anderson University, that keeps the students and the talent here, and they're much more likely to become Anderson, Madison County residents.
That's exactly right, and that's one thing that we really focus on is workforce, and we want to make sure that the students that come out of Liberty, they are what companies, organizations are looking for. And so you're absolutely right. And we want to encourage those students, love to see them stay and build their families, and right here, hometown.
Business recruitment, future business recruitment is what I like to look at it.
Absolutely.
As there is, my son, when he graduated from Anderson High School, as did my other children, and my oldest daughter really took advantage of it, advanced placement credits.
Yes.
For when they were in Anderson Community Schools.
Yes.
Those don't go to AU, but they can transfer to AU
sure.
easily.
Sure.
Now, does Liberty have a similar program?
Similar. So we have a dual credit program, and so and we have relationships with Ivy Tech, with AU, and so many of those classes that are juniors and seniors they not only receive credit here at Liberty, but at those other schools as well.
Yeah, which really helps them save money. As a parent that understands college tuition costs.
When you get to that point, you're watching every dollar, and so absolutely those tuition costs can really add up. So dual credits are a tremendous benefit that many of our students have taken credit of.
Well, and we also have I don't know how public it's been, but you've got an announcement about the future of Liberty physically.
That is correct. I think it's pretty public. I mean, we've had nearly 15,000 hits on all of our social media sites. So the word is out and is on the front page of the Herald Bulletin about 2 weeks ago. So, we made the announcement, and it's no secret that we have been looking for a new building for our secondary high school classes. Liberty, for those listeners that are not familiar, we are pre-K through 12th grade, and we are located on two separate campuses. Our pre-K and elementary are off of Scatterfield, and our 7th through 12th grade is located off of Columbus. And the building that we have been on Columbus, we
Bill Washington Elementary School.
That is correct. And
beautiful building.
Special emphasis on the word old.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, old. We purchased that in 1983, and that's probably about 80 years old, 80 to 90 years old, and just has been a tremendous blessing in the past, but it is time to move forward. And our board has had to make a decision on, do you continue to put money into the building, or do you try to find something else? And so they've been on a search for quite some time, but we were able to solidify the purchase of a property off of Lindbergh, Scatterfield and Lindbergh, which was the former Anderson Christian School.
Yeah, building. And it was Church of Christ. Mm-hmm.
Anderson Church of Christ. That is correct. And
relatively new building.
It is. The front part was the sanctuary part, I believe, was built in 1978, and then the school part back in the back, I think, was in 2006 when it was built. But it's about 60,000 square feet, and we have probably about 18 acres on there, and so we are excited. We have remediation teams that are about ready to go in. It's been vandalized. It's basically a shell at this point.
I didn't realize it's been vandalized.
It has been. It's been vacant for 3 years. And so,
does that include stripping out all the copper and the wiring?
Well, fortunately, we don't have to worry about that because that has already been taken care of.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The vandalism.
Yeah, my goodness. I was guessing as a former cop that the vandals had been in there and taken anything of value in the way of metal.
Yes, it's pretty much bare at this point, but that's all right with us because it just gives us a clean slate to start on. So we're fine. So we're currently working with our architect, his team, engineers, and then remediation will probably take about 6 weeks, and then the general contractor will come through and begin construction. And so we look forward to, we're crossing our fingers. We would love to be in around Christmas time, give or take. It may be a little earlier, it may be a little bit later, but we're trying to get our students in there as quickly as possible.
Yeah, so by Christmas time, we may be making the big move.
That would be the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
Yes, that'd be a great Christmas present right there.
Where do you see Liberty 20 years from now?
Great question. Liberty, let me go backwards for a second. Liberty has a tremendous heritage. Liberty was started in 1976 by a group of individuals who are still with us today. Frank Zebedis, Dr. Bill Anderson, Vern Petrie, Dave Harrington. These are great guys. And, they just had a real mission to provide a area that education would be biblically integrated, and so many times in Christian education, parents wanted that school as an umbrella. They wanted to protect their students from the culture, and parents would say, "I don't really care about curriculum, or I don't care if." As far as grades and academics, they would use this phrase, just give me Jesus. As long as my kids had Jesus. And so we will always give students Jesus. Our curriculum will always be biblically integrated. We will be unapologetic with our mission and purpose. But our real goal is to provide just a strong academic environment for our students, and really for Liberty to be a college preparatory institution. And so I just see it continue to grow with the voucher program, school choice. It's a great option for parents. Liberty is not going to be of interest to the mass of the population, but it definitely gives parents an option where they can send their child.
What the great comment you made about voucher and school choice. When that changed several years ago?
About 7 years ago, I think.
What was the difference with enrollment?
Well, it increased. Mm-hmm. So, for us, we kind of opened the door, and was a increase, and we saw families take advantage of that.
Dr. Jay McCurry, Superintendent of Liberty Christian School in Anderson, Madison County, Indiana, has been a guest. We have people from all over the world tune in. Literally.
It's fantastic.
We had 2 from Germany last week.
Anybody from Oklahoma?
No, I haven't had anybody
okay.
from. Well, we can fix that, though.
Bummer.
We can fix that. Kevin Smith, we're going to close hour number 1 on Facebook and have you on the radio.
Permission granted. Permission granted. Yes. She would be a fantastic guest.
Yeah, Nancy's one of those people. She, she has an opinion about many, many things. She's driven by passion.
Nancy is a very passionate individual.
Passion.
Yes.
I mean, you don't meet people like Nancy very often.
No. Nancy, I'm privileged to have Nancy serve as one of our members of our board of directors at Liberty. And so she is a great leader, a great friend, a great advocate for Liberty Christian.
Well, let me tell you, she's really fired up for Liberty.
Yes, she is.
Yeah, most definitely. But she may just. I want you to know that it's not just at board meetings she's acting sincere about her conviction.
Oh, okay.
I want to tell you that it's off-site, too.
Off-site, very
my
good to
goodness,
know.
absolutely.
We'll get her on here. Let her be a guest.
She's a person of a great deal of education in addition to her dedication.
Yes.
So she's a lawyer. You know that?
I did know that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me ask you a couple more things about Liberty. You mentioned before we began our number 2 segment here, you mentioned about vouchers and school choice, and we had a comment from one of our listeners, Anita, and I hope she's back with us. She wanted to know about the cost of attending Liberty, and you made some interesting comments off air because we didn't have enough time to get them in. Tell us about the cost, tuition, in this voucher school choice. And if someone like Anita is interested in sending grandchildren there, what's the process?
Absolutely. Well, first, I wouldn't use the word cost. I would use the word investment. You are investing in the lives of your children. And there is no greater investment than academic leadership, spiritual leadership, providing a safe environment. I wouldn't even use the word cost. It's an investment into your child's future. We have we're privileged to be a part of the school choice program, and so parents can be a part of that, and processes on our website. I would encourage all of your listeners to visit our website at libertyonline.org, and then we have a strong social media presence. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And
now, do you personally get on there and tweet?
Oh, I tweet all the time.
Do you really?
I do.
That's what you and President Trump have in common.
Well, let's not go there. But
I'm just saying. Tweeters.
For me, social media has been a great tool to reach a lot of folks, and it's fun. I enjoy it. So, but parents that are interested in looking at an investment for their children, there is a process. Go on our website, and then and school choice is based off of your income, and so if they think that they might be part of that income threshold, be under that income threshold, then that would be one way that could take care of that.
Yeah. My guest in the studio is Dr. Jay McCurry, who is superintendent of Liberty Christian School, located in Anderson, Madison County, Indiana. You mentioned something very interesting about preparing your students, and I think you even mentioned workforce. Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with and participate in the Manufacturing Roundtable?
I am, and Liberty is a part of that, and so and there's a strong emphasis with that group of bringing up a strong labor force. The roundtable, the individuals that are part of that, they're business owners, they're business leaders, they're executives, and they are struggling to find educated individuals that show up on time, have character,
absolutely right.
That will do a fair day's work, and so we're thrilled to be a part of that group, and great group of individuals, part of the roundtables. They're doing a great work in Madison County.
That it's relatively new. It's about 5-6 years old now. That roundtable. What we found was, and this came from a friend of mine that had moved to town. He was in charge at GTI, which is out in our industrial park.
Okay.
And he said, Kevin, and we have struggles finding people that want to come work, but what's more is we want to make sure that the local education community, in particular the curriculum designers, understand what we need from a graduate, from students here locally that can graduate from high school and begin to work and earn a full-time living.
Right.
So have you found that feedback helpful?
We have, and it's very helpful. And we live, going back to your original question about social media. I mean, we live in a generation where our students they live behind a screen. Tom Ziegler, who's the son of Zig Ziglar, told me one time. He said they don't call them teenagers anymore; they call them screenagers because they live behind a screen. And so, because of that, students struggle even having a conversation, making eye contact and just the verbal cues and that we grew up with, that living behind a screen has changed all of that for so many students. And so, I think businesses nowadays are looking for a workforce that can communicate clearly. And then on the academic side, definitely a emphasis on the math and sciences.
Absolutely.
And so we've taken note of that, and that is definitely an emphasis. That will be an emphasis in our new building. We will create a cutting edge science lab, and so we definitely see the need and see the areas that we need to focus in, so that our students will be well prepared to hit that workforce day one.
Absolutely, and the point from GTI was, look, pardon me, you may not start out at $26 an hour hired in, which is what a lot of people remember around here, because we had General Motors and the UAW, and the wages were very, very good. Obviously, everything has changed in manufacturing. I mean, what we did in Anderson is not what they do now in manufacturing. So, if you build a link between the curriculum coordinators, makers, those people who are in charge of it, and what the factories need. But here was something more, and you mentioned a great point. You said, I believe, and I'm paraphrasing, Liberty is part of the education opportunity here. You have people that are attracted to Liberty because of what Liberty is.
They are, and I want folks to know that Liberty is listening. We are listening to what the community is telling us the needs are, and we have, not only do we have, our students have to meet the standards that are set before the state.
Right.
We have the biblical integration piece that is part of our mission and the purpose, the entire purpose of Liberty even being in existence. But what does your local community need? And so I'm out there, and we have groups of people that are out there, and we are listening to what the needs are in the community. I do not want Liberty to be inclusive. I do not want us to be R4 and no more. I want us to be an integral part of the community.
And you said college prep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And I know that not every student, their desire is not to go to college. But, I hear so many manufacturers that they need good tradesmen and, welders and plumbers and HVAC people.
But my point is, and through that manufacturing roundtable and GTI, which had such immense positive impact on Anderson, was that okay? But if you don't understand basic math graphs, if you don't understand basic language skills, that you cannot do the programming that's required in manufacturing.
That is correct.
And so that roundtable is supposed to include, and I believe it does, all our local educators. Anderson Preparatory Academy,
right?
Liberty, Anderson Community Schools, and there's probably others that are on that board, so everyone can really understand what it is our local, and be flexible, because things may change 3 years from now and what their needs are.
That's right. And so I just appreciate the roundtable. I appreciate them allowing educators into the dialogue, and I just want them to know we're listening, and we are doing everything in our power to support them, and so that our students have the tools that they need the moment that they graduate.
Well, Dr. Jay McCurry is my guest in the studio today. And I want to, from Liberty Christian School here in Anderson, Madison County, and I want to thank you for taking the opportunity to come in here. I also want to tell you that these segments are on Kevin S. Smith Facebook page, the videos, and they're available for you to look at later if you'd like to.
Great. Yep. Fantastic.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate you having me.
Can I invite you back? Because what I'd like to do is get an update as your facility opens and what's changing.
I would love to come back. I would love to continue to share with your listeners what's happening. And I would encourage your listeners, if any of them have children, grandchildren that are looking for a great academic opportunity for this coming school year, come check us out. Stop in. We'll give you a tour. No pressure. And we have a great team. We didn't even talk about state champions, basketball.
No, we didn't. And boy, that drew them out, didn't it?
We have the highest graduation rate. There's a lot of great things happening at Liberty, and I would just love for any of your listeners to stop by, say hello, and we'll give them a tour around either the elementary or the high school.
Well, thank you very much again, Jay McCurry. We're going to pause for just a brief moment, and then we'll be back on air.